Hey folks, in this video I'm going to be showing you how I use the StarTech U.2 adapter to install a U.2 or an Optane disk into my system. As you can see, I've got two of the adapters here, but let's take a look inside and see what you get when you order this kit from StarTech. So opening it up, you're going to find that there is a simple bolt kit in here. No big deal. These bolts are used to hold the drive to the card, which we'll show in just a bit. And then you've got the actual card and the cellophane, which we'll show in just a second here. And then an instruction manual. So nothing really surprising, basic stuff. So let's take a look at the actual card. So this is the actual card for the adapter, right? Now, one thing you might notice right away is there's two jumpers here. We've got a lower jumper here and an upper, looks like a jumper, but it's actually just a connector for the LED light if you want a hard disk indicator. This one down here is a little more complicated. It's all around, I believe it's clock request, and there's two settings on it, the E4 setting there and the P3 that you can see. I have not had to modify it. The instruction manual states that if you're having issues with the system, maybe an older system board seeing the actual drive, you might have to switch this jumper over. The drive that I'm working on is an older drive that I got on eBay here. You can see it's an Optane, it's a PX4800 series, and it should fit pretty well. It's a 750 gig drive. You can find these on eBay or other places if you want them used. You can find them brand new on Newegg if you're looking for a newer disk. But let's go ahead and get this drive installed here. So basically, the U.2 interface you're going to see here has a lot of pins. A lot of pins on top of the connector and a lot of pins on the back connector. Now, very similar looking to a SATA or a SAS connector, but as you can see with all these pins, they're definitely doing a lot of speed improvements with the drive. It's pretty simple. The drive is just going to go on the card like this and slide over into this connector here. Once the drive is there, you can flip the card over, right? And then just put the 4 bolts in there and hook it up. All right, now we've got the drive mounted to the card. And I gotta say, with it bolted in, it's pretty steady. It's not going anywhere. The connection feels really snug and really good. One thing I noticed about the card as well, if you notice on the back side here, there's a huge cutout. And that's actually to allow some of the heat come out from the drive instead of into the card. So that's a really nice design there, allowing that heat transfer to kind of get out and then getting the airflow and out of the system versus the physical card, just kind of taking on all that heat. So this is it. I'm going to go ahead and get this card installed into my system, and then we'll run some benchmarks against a couple other drives as well and just kind of cross compare them. So let's look at a basic hardware install. This here is the Gigabyte system board I've used in the past. It's the MX31-BSO. It's an older system board. I used it for my kind of 5.5, vSphere 5.5 and 6.0 days. But for this instance, it'll work pretty well. So I've basically got the Optane disk mounted here, as you can see. No big trick. It's just installed into a 8X port, but again, it only requires 4. So it's ready to go. I'm just going to boot this one to Windows, and then we'll also try to do maybe some other operating systems on it as well and see how it reacts. All right, so we're in the home lab now. Let's take a look at that system. So first off, what I did was I installed 3 different drives. There's the 400 gig Optane drive I have here, the 256 gig NVMe drive, and then there's a 450 gig SSD, which is the Patriot disk. I then went ahead and got ATTO installed, and let's take a look at the results. So first, the 480 gig disk. I know it says Optane, it should be there. Should be 450. And as you can see, we've got some pretty decent speeds out of it. So maxing out and sustained somewhere around between 540 and about 515-ish read and write there. When we look at the NVMe disk here, we're seeing a little bit better performance, right? Definitely in the 800s now, and we compare IOs to the two. We can see we're getting different IOs quite a bit, right? So a lot more definitely on the write IOs compared to write with SSD. So NVMe is definitely the clear winner until we introduce the Optane disk, which just completely crushes them.
If we take a look at this here, I mean, we're seeing sustained speeds all the way up into 3 gigabit, which is just phenomenal speed. Very impressed with it. And we look at the IOs on it compared to over here and here. We see that the IOs are a little bit higher in many different areas. So definitely its throughput is just absolutely crushing the competition. Very impressed with this drive. I'm looking forward to using it for different things. One use case I could think of within Windows is when I'm doing video editing and I need to really write something quick. That's what I'm looking for. That'd be a great drive for that. I'm really excited to get this into ESXi and start playing around with it as well. So folks, that's what I had for you today. I hope you enjoyed this short video on some performance benchmarks on Optane disks. Reach out to me if you have any questions, and do have a good day. Don't forget to hit subscribe.